Hi, it's Marco, and today I want to tell you about CrowdedHero, which is an equity crowdfunding company that I recently discovered and that really offers to change the game in the field of equity crowdfunding. So I will be telling you about the platform itself, what returns you can expect from the platform, then we are going to discuss what amount of risk is associated with investing on this platform, and finally I will share with you to start investing and also my own returns. So first, the platform itself. So equity crowdfunding is basically the fact to invest along with other investors directly in the capital of some company. So you will basically become a shareholder in a private company, just like you are becoming a shareholder of a public company when you invest on the stock market. But here it's for private companies. So it's usually something that is reserved to some people with a lot of money that actually invest in those early stage companies. But here, equity crowdfunding offers to make that accessible for everyone. However, I have to admit that I usually didn't like that field a lot because I tried it a lot on other platforms in the past and it didn't end up so well. Usually you get your money back by two ways, either by dividend distributions from those companies or by those companies doing an exit, had been sold and they get a profit. Well, I didn't get any of those on other platforms, so that's why I was really interested when CrowdedHero really offered to change the game in the fact that first, they only offers to investors to invest in companies that are already past this startup phase. So you will only find companies that already have some cash flow and have already exited this initial phase of the startup. Also, you will find companies that have a clear plan to double in size within 5 years, and that's really a requirement to be listed on CrowdedHero. Companies have to present a clear plan for growth, so to be sold after 5 or 6 years, and also to pay dividends to investors. So they can't just say, we need money, please give us money, and we'll probably sell and probably give dividends. They need to have this clear plan, and also, as I said before, they need to be already an established company and not at the startup stage. So I was really interested by all of this. That's why I decided to look deeper into CrowdedHero. So it's a company based in Riga, Latvia. They have been created in 2019, but they only actually launched in 2022. Let's now talk about returns on the platform. So as I said before, there are two things: dividends and a profit that will be made when the company is sold. The dividends, well, at this stage, it's quite difficult to evaluate. The only thing I can say that they're investing in emerging markets in Europe, so dividend should be quite nice compared to other companies in Western Europe, where they're usually lower. But I will, of course, make an update whenever I get the first dividends from this platform. In terms of the exit, however, of the companies, this I can give you more information because they actually have this goal for all companies on the platform to double in size within 5 years. So that corresponds to returns, if we put that year to year, of 15% per year. So that's above what you will get from, for example, a peer-to-peer lending company, or at least most of them, and definitely more than real estate crowdfunding. So that's really attractive returns, and of course you have to add to that the dividends that you will receive from those companies. Now let's talk about the risk that is associated with an investment on CrowdedHero. I always analyze the risk in 3 parts. The first part is the platform itself, then the company behind the platform and the team, and finally I also talk about how they actually choose the projects that are listed on the platform. So first, let's talk about the platform itself. So for equity crowdfunding companies, the most important is that they actually keep the funds that you send to them separate from the own funds of the company, right? So they should not, the CrowdedHero platform should not have access to your fund. It should just go to a separate provider and then be sent directly to the companies that are being funded. This is the case here. They are using Lemonway, which is a provider that is used in many companies in the field. And they made sure that the funds always keep separate from the accounts of the company and that they will really be transferred directly to the companies that have been funded. Also, they have a very strict know your customer process. So you will see, I will talk a bit more about that when we talk about investing, but that's here and they really respect all the European laws in that sense. Also, they confirmed to me that they will get the license to be a European crowdfunding provider. So that's this European license that all platforms are getting, and they will get it before the end of the year. So that's a good sign as well. In terms of the company, I always check first that they're actually registered as a company. I checked in Latvia and they're actually registered. The team, they were very transparent on their site. It was really easy for me to find all information about the team. For example, I checked the LinkedIn profile of two of the main top members. The first one is the co-founder of the company. He was a partner in Aventus Group, which is a very large financial group in Europe. And then the CEO of the company was also in a private banking sector for a lot of years. So definitely two key people that have experience in the field. Then let's talk about the companies themselves that are actually funded by CrowdedHero. So as I mentioned before, the main criteria for companies to be listed is that they need to have this plan to grow in size over 5-6 years, at least double, and also have this clear plan to pay dividends. And they are all vetted by this Aventus Group that I mentioned before, and they need to have already exited the startup phase. So they shared some numbers with me. Basically, most companies on such platforms, only 1% actually have a successful exit for investors. So most of them actually fail. And also only 5% pay dividends. So this is what they are addressing with this very strict process to put companies on the platform. So not at the startup stage or the established companies, and also with this very clear plan for growth and dividends distributions. Now let's talk about investing actually on the platform. So the first thing you have to do is to actually register. That was, I need to say, a bit difficult on the platform. So creating the basic account was easy, but then you need to be verified. And that was a bit long because Lemonway, which is a partner that handles the money, requires 2 pieces of ID. So I use personally my ID card and also my driving license, but I know for a fact that not everyone has 2 pieces of identification, at least government issued IDs, so that might be an issue here. And also they directly asked for the bank account information to get the money back, right, from dividends and successful exits. So this created a quite lengthy process to sign up. Maybe it would be better to ask for the bank account later. So I shared all of that with them, so maybe they will actually improve it in the future. But for now, just know that it takes a bit of time to get verified on the platform, but also that's just following the law, right? So it's something you have to go through at the moment, at least, to be verified and being able to invest on the platform. Once this is done, you can actually transfer funds on your account there and start investing. So it was really easy to browse projects on the platform, especially as they just have one project available for investment at the moment. So it's an e-commerce company that you can invest in. And once you click on it, it was very easy as well to get all the information about the company, especially regarding what I said before, like this very clear plan for the company to pay out investors when it's sold and also to pay dividends while they are invested in the company. So this was really important and again, very clear, written in the description of the company. On some of the platforms, I always felt like they are more trying to sell you something, sell some dream, right, than actually giving numbers. But here, as they are not startup, it's not companies at the startup phase, I really like the fact that they focus on those key metrics and really how they will give back the money to investors. Also, they have to say exactly how they will invest the money and how the investors' money will lead them to this growth that they announce. So that was really nice to find in this description. So to invest, very easy as well. You can just enter the amount you want to invest. Note here that you can invest from just 100 euros, which is one of the lowest I ever saw on such platforms. Usually it's more like 500 or even 1,000 euros minimum. So that really makes it nice to diversify in the future on such platform. And again, the funds are directly transferred to Lemonway and only once your name is actually registered as a shareholder of the company, then only the funds are transferred to the company bank account. So CrowdedHero actually never touches your fund directly. Again, that's very important. Also, they plan to have a secondary market in the future, so you can actually sell your shares to other investors. That will be very good if you need to exit, for example, before a project is actually sold. So, about my own returns, it's of course way too early to talk about actual returns because, well, there are only one project on the platform. So whenever I have more results, I will make another video update, and also I will update my article on my site about this platform. So what do I think at the end about CrowdedHero? Definitely a very good surprise in this space of equity crowdfunding. As I mentioned before, it's not a field I really liked because it was always unclear for me when and how I would get my money back from those companies. But here, I love the fact that they actually put all their focus on this plan to get money back to investors in the form of a profit when the company is sold and dividends given to investors. Also, they are very safe and secure. They have this license that will come soon. They are using Lemonway to handle the investors' money. That's very nice as well. And they have a very strong team to manage the company. So definitely an equity crowdfunding platform that I would recommend trying. You can just go on the site, create an account, and see if that's a good fit for your portfolio. That being said, if you want to learn more, I put some links just below the video or in the show notes of the podcast episode if you are listening to the podcast version of this. So make sure to check that. There's a link to my site, for example, where you can find a more detailed article about CrowdedHero that I regularly update with my own results and updates about the platform. Of course, if you have any questions about the platform, about investing in general, don't hesitate to leave them just below the video or on the podcast comments if you are listening to the podcast version of this. And that being said, thank you again for watching this video or listening to the podcast, and I will see you in the next one.